Hey y'all, thank you for tuning in to Ladylike. This is Anton again, and this episode was with Courtlynn Byargeon, the owner of Lovelily Flowers. This conversation was probably one of the more emotional conversations that I've ever had on the podcast. We talked about foster care, we talked about my foster son and a lot of his story. It's really a beautiful thing to listen to, and we also talked about Courtlynn's foster son and the adoptive story that happened there. And lastly, we talked about her company, which is incredible and interesting and amazing. I've attended weddings where Lovelily was doing the flowers and it was spectacular. But anyway, we're going to roll right into the Dear Drew. And then after that, you'll hear straight from us. Thanks. Dear Drew, today you'll hear from Courtlynn, a woman whose life reminds me that love is not just a feeling, it's a choice made daily. Especially when the future is uncertain. She and Will loved Bryce before they knew whether he'd stay. She loved him with her whole heart anyway. That kind of love, full-hearted, brave, without guarantees, is the kind I want you to grow up around. Flowers are fragile. They wilt, they bruise. But they're also defiant. They bloom in dry soil. They return in the spring. And they make things more beautiful just by showing up. That's Courtlynn. And I think that could be you too. If you take anything away from this conversation, let it be this. You don't have to wait until things are perfect to begin. You can create something meaningful in the middle of the mess. Lovelily Flowers was born in a difficult season, yet bloomed into something magnificent. You can love with your whole heart, even if you don't know what tomorrow brings. Love, Dad. Welcome to Ladylike. I'm Anton. I'm here today with Courtlynn, who runs her own company, Lovelily Flowers. She is on the podcast because I want my daughter to grow up to be someone like her. Courtlynn is incredible. She is gentle and firm at the same time, running a business and being a mother. I'm really excited to spend time with her, and I hope you fall in love with her as I have.
So sweet.
Yeah. Tell them a little bit about what you do.
So I am a wedding florist primarily, like a floral designer. I love working. I think I'm kind of known in the industry for really colorful weddings, kind of maximalist, funky, playful, like floral designs. And that's like my business. And then I'm also a mom. I have two kids.
Foster and adoptive
Yeah,
mother.
I am a foster and adoptive mother and a bio mom.
And a bio mom,
Yeah.
a mom of all kinds. I was curious what you were like when you were a kiddo. Were you always like thinking, I'm going to start a business? What were your dreams when you were a kid?
I was a sweet kid.
Mm,
So sweet. And like always had rose-colored glasses on. But I was very entrepreneurial. My mom kept she was a teacher and kept her school books in my closet. So I told her I would organize them, but she would have to pay me if she wanted to get them out.
oh,
Like
wow.
at kind of like a library, but it costs money.
Yeah.
And then
Dang.
I also had court care, which was my babysitting business.
That's funny about running a library out of your house, like scamming your mom
Mhm.
from childhood. So tell me about your mom, actually. I was curious about your mom and the matriarchs in your life, maybe your grandmother. Would love to hear about who they were and how they inspired you as a kiddo.
I'm lucky because my mom is young. She was a teen mom. I have both of my grandmas, and they're still young, and my mom is still young. And I just feel so thankful that I'm 29, almost 29 now, and they're still like a big part of my life.
What did you take away from the way that your mom and your grandmother lived, and how did that inspire you as a kid, or do you even remember that?
Well, I feel like my mom was incredibly resilient
Mm.
and very optimistic and always kind of like a total go-getter, had a plan. Like being a young parent, I think there's a lot of challenges, and you're also like navigating your first real like big girl job and all those things. And I watched her um, graduate college while working full time. She would like work night jobs and also do college and also take care of us and cook dinner. And like,
Wow.
she, I think, has been a steady backbone of our family.
Dang.
Yeah, proud of her.
How much older than you is your mom?
17 years.
So she was like teen. She could have been on MTV's Teen Moms.
I know.
Dang, missed opportunity,
She's like
MTV.
classier than
That's true. That's true. That wasn't like the best, the best rendition of what it meant to be a teen
Yeah.
mom.
But I think something that's really cool is having young parents. I think they needed a lot of support from my grandparents, and my grandparents both, they were all really part of raising me.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I I feel like my relationships with all my family. Plus, I'm the first granddaughter on both sides, and the first daughter. So, all those like
Yep.
reels, I feel like they're real. They're real.
The reels are real. Drew is also the first daughter and the granddaughter on both sides. And so
Special girl.
living her life, my parents were 26 when they had me, but when I was in high school, people often asked me and my dad if we were brothers. And I was like, it just
Yeah.
fed his ego.
My first year of high school, we walked in with my dad, and one of the teachers recognized my dad.
Oh, wow.
My dad was uh, like the bad boy, and my mom
Yeah.
was like drum major, like the good
Wow.
girl. So they were like, "Oh, this troublemaker."
Oh
I
my
was like, "Don't worry, I'm a
gosh.
good girl."
What the grease. That's incredible. Or
Yeah.
High School Musical
I know,
almost.
yeah.
That's awesome. Speaking of dads, what was your relationship like with your dad when you were a kid? Do you have any special memories? Any things I can steal from him to do with Drew?
Mm. I feel like I felt completely free with my dad.
Mm,
He was just so proud of me.
mm.
Like I felt like I could do anything, and he would be like, "That's my daughter." Like when I wanted to start my business in college, both of my parents were like, "You can do anything." I feel like my other friends who wanted to dabble in art, their parents were like, "Why don't you just finish your nursing degree, and then like maybe down the line you can play around." But both of my parents were like, "You got this. Like we believe in you."
Wow.
And I think um I can just I think that's one of my favorite things about my relationship with my dad is I can feel his pride when he
Yeah,
looks at me.
that is so awesome. The wind in your sails. You married your high school sweetheart. You married Will, and we love Will. What do you love the most about him as a dad?
Oh my gosh. He's such a good dad.
Mm,
Um, One thing I was drawn to him when dating was how steady he is.
mm.
When our son came into our lives, I just felt like Will got to give him those pieces of him. Like Will got to give those things to Bryce, that he was steady and he showed up and he was consistent. And one thing that I just know is so good for kids, and I'm just so thankful. Like I love seeing that, and for him to be able to show up for my kids in that way. But also he's just like really playful and goofy. Like he'll make their plates and it will be like, using the food to make a face.
Yeah.
And he'll draw them like pictures to go in their lunch
Mhm.
boxes and just plays with them every day.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. Kind of tell me about the beginning of Lovelily and what happened with that.
Yeah. So we were in our like hometown growing up, and it was my freshman year, and all of not my best friend was still there, but I felt like so many people moved away, and just the whole shift of the city changed after we graduated. Will moved away. I felt kind of sorry for myself. I had to go to community college and was like, everybody else is going and having these experiences, and I'm just like home in my same town that I've been in, and my boyfriend, not husband, boyfriend is gone, and I was like hopelessly romantic, obsessed with him,
Mhm.
and
As
like
one should be.
devastated
Yeah.
that he was gone.
Mhm.
So we that summer we went to Colorado, and Will's family has a cabin there, and I like picked flowers for the dinner table. And then when I came back to our hometown, I was like desperate for something like a fun outlet or something to look forward to. So I asked this bakery in our hometown, the owner, Jane, shout out, love you.
Mhm.
Um, if I could put flowers on the tables in her bakery. It was like a bakery coffee shop, Jane and John Doe.
Mhm.
And she let me. And then eventually she was like, "You're really good at this. You should start an Instagram." And so I did. And then my first bride was like a customer from the bakery.
Whoa,
She saw my work and was like, "Do you do weddings?"
that's crazy. They're like, I like these flowers. I wanted them at my wedding.
Yeah, sweet.
What was the moment that you knew, like, I'm building something here? Lovelily is taking off. This can be my full-time thing and my job.
It was, I don't know. There was a moment where I was like, "Oh, you can make money from this?" Because I struggled so much to charge
Mhm.
anybody anything.
Yeah.
And it feels like because I kind of grew up in a poverty mindset, it feels hard to charge something that I would never pay for. And I've never had that much money to be able to pay $15,000 for flowers for one day.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like extremely physically demanding and time consuming. And I just hit this point where I was like, I'm working every weekend. I'm stressed out. I'm not eating. Like, I'm having so much anxiety. Came to a point where I was like, wait, this is not a free hobby.
Yeah.
This is this is my full-time job and I have to value my time. And so if somebody can't afford me, that is so fine. I can't afford this.
Yeah.
But in order for me to make this my full-time job, I have to charge. And it's not fair to my kids if I'm not making like money doing my job and I'm just like missing all these things with them or like missing so many weekends. I just think it came to a point where I had to value like, oh, my time and my energy is valuable and clearly people want to work with me.
When did you, or how do you currently delineate that? Like, do you, when you're accepting clients, do you like have a schedule? Do you have a like a barrier to entry? Like, I imagine there's a lot of people that want the same weekend, right? Do you look at the finances or look at the type of the wedding and consult or
Yeah, so my inquiry form on my website kind of helps naturally weed
Mm,
people out who may not be a good fit.
mhm,
So it asks questions like, "What's your budget?" And then my minimum right now is 7,500.
mhm.
So I think from the inquiry form, they know like if it's something smaller or if their budget's smaller, then I'm probably not a good fit. But I also have like another form on the website that's like little small random odds and ends inquiries, or if you just wanted like a bouquet or something, you can
Mhm.
like fill that in. So 7,500 is like full service. We're gonna go, we're gonna set it up, we're gonna install, we're gonna bring the ladders, we're gonna clean it all up, we're gonna flip it from ceremony to reception, and then we're gonna like take it all out of the venue. So if you don't need that, then you know. And then once they inquire, it's not like they can't just like book me.
Mhm.
They inquire and I see like their vendor team, their photographer, their wedding planner, their venue, their date, and I have to kind of decide based on like how big the wedding is because sometimes I'll do two in a weekend or two on the same day,
Wow.
but they have to be it has to they all have to fit together. It's like puzzle piecing my
Yeah.
schedule together. I have to like take account for rest between because they're really physically demanding. Even if I'm available a weekend, but it's a huge one or a really small one that I would only profit a little bit of money, it doesn't make sense to book it
Mhm.
because it's like I actually need the weekend to recoup and be with my kids.
And so then with the like the needing the rest between and everything, did you learn those things the hard way
Yeah.
or okay, I was wondering if you like knew, okay, I have to plan ahead or
I
if you were
learned it
like,
all the
okay,
hard way,
yeah,
unfortunately.
wow, yeah. RIP to the hard
Yeah.
way.
So I don't feel anxious anymore, but I did like the first wedding I went to, I was like,
Yeah.
and then I like cried on
Yeah.
site.
So I know that you do the weddings and you probably make a lot of money doing the weddings, but I've seen you do pop-ups like for Valentine's Day, Mother's Day. What's the business side with that and how does that work in comparison to weddings? Is that like an off-season thing or is it?
Um, Honestly, pop-ups are not money makers.
Really? I did not know that.
But I will say it's like my favorite day of the year. It's so fun. And I'm lucky to have like gotten in with Merit, the coffee shop, and I feel like they really like me coming. So it's this little mutual thing. And it's just fun because I feel so supported and loved by like people who come and like see me at the pop-up and stuff. So I love to do it. I don't care that it doesn't make that much money.
Yeah. The first time you met Drew was at the
Mhm.
Valentine's Day pop-up. She was 14 days old.
Sweet baby.
That's crazy. Throwback
So
to
crazy.
pop-up life. And with the pop-ups, do you see them more as like marketing opportunities? Like random people you've never met before are probably
Yeah, totally.
buying and
Yeah, and just like I have a little sign that I'll put up and like
nice.
decorate and stuff. So, and you can really lean into it with the creativity. It's like I get to pick whatever I want for the theme and the colors and all that kind of stuff.
So how do you stay grounded and creative, or just grounded, managing a business and motherhood?
It's hard.
It's so hard.
Um, I think I just have to give myself a lot of grace because, well, we all know comparison is the thief of joy. So if I look to a stay-at-home mom, then I'm just like, do I even love my kids? Like, have I ever spent time with them? And then if I look at like a full-time corporate girly 9 to 5 in the office, it's like it's my life is so different. Like I have more flexibility during the week and then on the weekends I'm gone a lot. So, yeah, I think I have to just remember that this is my own motherhood journey
Yeah.
and like take the time I do have with my kids and try to be intentional. Working from home makes it really hard because I work in my home,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
Like I can't get away from it. All of my problems are right here with me.
Love that.
So
Love that.
that makes it hard having a balance.
Yeah.
But it also makes it nice because when the kids are sleeping, I can work or like if they're homesick or whatever.
Yeah.
So
What is it like? I guess I should explain. When I was in college, I was broke, obviously, and I worked a full-time job and went to school at the same time. It was crazy. I was an Amazon delivery driver.
oh,
Yeah, it was pretty actually my favorite job I've ever had. With that job, that meant that a lot of weekends I wasn't around. And that meant a lot of parties I couldn't go to and a lot of just college kids hang out till like 1 a.m. every night anyway. I missed out on that because I had to wake up at 7. Do you feel like that echoes for your job and being busy on the weekends and not being able to hang out with friends? Like, do you resonate with that at all?
so much.
Really?
Yeah. I really struggled with that. Like, and it's gotten better as I hired somebody, Rachel, and like have more help to try to get my life a little bit to look more like a 9 to 5. But yes, at the end, like I feel like that's something that's been so hard through the whole thing. But since it's the only job I've had and I've been doing it since college, I feel like generally all of my friends know that's how my life works.
Yeah.
And sometimes I felt a lot of guilt about that because it, I think I know for a fact I've had people feel like, wow, the most important thing in Courtlynn's life is her work, and then we come second.
Yeah.
I actually don't know for a fact because nobody has said that to my face, but I feel confident that I have hurt friends in that or just made them feel like, unfortunately, this has to come first.
Yeah.
And even like, I feel really nervous as my kids get older and they're in sports and all those types of things because a wedding, they book you out a year and a half in advance. And it's like being the boss. Not every wedding do I need to be at, but I need to be at them for the most part. That has been a really hard thing to navigate. On top of just feeling like if I do go to something, there's only 10% of myself showing up
Yeah.
because
I'm
I am so tired
Yeah.
and I haven't eaten all day.
I get that and I have empathy for that because I lived through that in college and I hated that. What has success looked like for you lately? Has your definition changed of success over time?
For sure. Like everything felt like a win at the beginning.
Mhm.
Like another person. And there's been lulls like right after I had my daughter, basically no maternity leave, but I was drowning. I was just like I had my first wedding 4 weeks after Davy was born and I had a C-section, and then I had my second week 2 weeks later and then two in that same weekend. It was just like
No way.
too
You got
much.
on a ladder? That's crazy.
Yeah. I did get on a ladder, but I didn't get very high. The 4 weeks after. The 6 weeks I was doing everything, which
That's
I
crazy.
yeah. It was
Oh,
but that's
that's so crazy. I'm gonna break my mic. Snaps it.
yeah, that was definitely like a learning curve. And also like with birth, you can't I tried my best
Yeah.
to control it, and I had tons of help, but it was still like I was just drowning.
This is TMI, but was your C-section planned?
Kind of.
Oh,
So she was, yes, it was. It
she's
was planned.
breached.
She was breech.
Okay.
So the week of my daughter's like due date, our foster son, our son,
Yeah,
but at the time our foster son had his final court hearing.
that's right.
So on Monday, I had to go testify as like a 39-week pregnant person. I was like out of breath and crying on the stand.
Mhm.
And then I think she was induced on Thursday, but she was breached. So we did an ECV. Like my plan was to do the ECV when I get to the hospital. And if she flips, then they would induce me,
Mhm.
but she didn't flip. So then I knew if she didn't flip, I would have to have a C-section. But the reality is she's here safely,
Yeah.
and it is what it is.
Anna pushed for 3 hours. She was in labor for 20. I think she was in labor for 20 hours. They were like, we're about to have to go into a C-section. But the guy that did Anna's birth, he's like 80 something. And he was like, I'm gonna use the tongs or something. I don't know, the big, and he like pulled her out. On to brighter subjects. You're not just a mom, you're an adoptive mom
Mhm.
and a former foster mom, but I think forever a foster mom if you've done it once. Walk me through the Bryce journey because I legitimately don't remember or know like when he came into your care and how long that was. If you feel like you can share, it's his story, of course, but I'd
Yeah.
like to know.
We were so excited to be foster parents. We were had, it takes like a year to get certified. And so we got a bunch of calls in a row and they all kept falling through. And then we got a call. Well, I had a dream.
Oh,
Yeah. I had a dream. I woke up and I was like, Will, this is so weird. I had a dream that they called and asked if we wanted a boy or a girl. There's two kids who need homes and you get to pick. And I was like, isn't that weird? And we wanted a girl so bad. But in the dream, it was weird, but in the dream, we picked the baby boy. And so the next morning, I woke up and told Will about my dream, and he went to work. And I got a text from the caseworker being like, this is bizarre, but we have two kids,
no way.
a baby boy
No
and a
way.
baby girl.
Stop.
And so we had wanted a girl so bad. And so I like picked the baby boy. Well, Will and I talked a lot. He was a broken baby and like was in the hospital, had a lot of stuff going on. And so the other baby was like a newborn, legally free, I think, which
Mhm.
means they're available for adoption. And but we knew we wanted to foster and like we're really big advocates for reunification. And so we were like, we feel unqualified to take care of a baby who has a lot of needs. But so we said yes to the boy, and the lady texted me back and was like, um, we're excited you're like willing and would like love to say yes to this baby boy. She was like, go meet him at the hospital, go pick out some clothes for him.
No way.
And I was just so excited and I was feeling like so beyond myself that I had a dream and it was all coming to life. And I was like, the Lord is like showing up and he wants us to be foster parents and he's doing all this stuff. And so we were like, I picked out a bunch of stuff, went to the closet and like grabbed all these things. And um, then like an hour later, we got a call that they had found an aunt. And I was just like,
Wow.
I literally was, it seems so dramatic,
Yeah.
but I was like weeping on the floor. I think mainly because I felt so stupid that I was like, would think God would give me a dream. I just felt stupid and like embarrassed that I had told people I had had this dream and then it came to life. I was like, I don't even want to do this anymore. Like it kept falling through and I was like, I can't explain it. But I was devastated that it
Yeah.
fell through and just felt silly and dumb and So Will and I went and we were like so thankful he has a family member. Like that's a great thing. Somebody is in his family that can take care of him. And we were like, we're gonna go drink margaritas.
Heck yeah.
And we went, and then Will looked down at his phone and he was like, Courtlynn. And I was like, what? And he was like, we need to go home because our caseworker just placed us with a new baby.
Wow.
And I was like, I was actually kind of upset because it was like 11 p.m. and I had told Will like we're saying no for a while. Like I'm so upset about this other baby and I cannot like handle saying yes again and then that falling through. Like I am just so ready to be a foster parent. It took over a year like and it's just bizarre because it feels like you don't even know the kid. But when you say yes, it's like you I don't know. It's like you understand.
They're your kid.
They're your kid.
Yeah.
It's like you're like, yes, I'm gonna love you and protect you. And I had done this for this baby who I knew needed someone to do it. And then anyways, I was just like very distraught about it. But the caseworker was like, CPS is on the way to your home with a um
We love that.
3-month-old baby boy.
Yeah.
She was like, I'm sorry, but I said yes for you because I know how upset you were earlier. So we were like,
That's insane.
I know.
I'm stressed for you.
We like sobered up really fast.
Yeah.
I mean, we were already fine, but we went and got coffee and just went and waited at home. And um they came at midnight and we met our son at midnight and he was like asleep. She brought him in and like put him in his little carrier on the table and she was like, we've had a hard day. And I just remember him like opening his eyes and looking at me. I was like, who are you?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Kids.
um we like put him in his bassinet and the next morning he woke up and smiled at me and I was just like, this is so I was like, you're so cute. I don't know you.
Yeah.
Like but it's really sweet now to look back on that story and like I was so upset that um the first baby like didn't end up in our family and without like I had no say in Bryce being in our home and it just feels like he like I don't know. It's just like really bizarre that I didn't say yes. Like it was just put on me.
Yeah.
And then obviously we love him so much and like I can't imagine our life without him. But that's how we moved into our house.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Wow.
he had a really long case and it had several extensions. So I feel like that was really hard.
Has becoming a parent changed your view of your parents?
In the hospital, when my mom came to meet Davy, I just was like couldn't stop crying because I was like, how did you do this at 17? I think being a parent has put into perspective how much my parents sacrificed to be good parents to me. Like they gave up so much. I got to have my college years and I got to have like all these things and it's still hard. Like I got to start parenthood with a full-time job and like a home and all these things and like it's still really hard.
Yeah.
So I think it just put it into perspective of like I felt loved and cared for and like a lot of peace in my childhood despite like I know they went through a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's been the biggest thing I think.
Yeah, I definitely resonate with that. Like when we had our foster kid, I was like feeding him at 3 in the morning thinking, oh my gosh, my parents did this for me. It was like a crazy revelation. My mom, uh, my mom and I have a hard relationship and she got charged with neglect when I was a teenager. So, that makes it really tough. And we had a falling out for a long time. We didn't talk for a couple of years. And when I held my foster kid and thought about the fact that my mom did that for me, I realized that she didn't fail me whole life. Maybe just a short period in that one little time period, like kind of separated us because of where I was. And it gives me so much empathy now being a parent for my mom
Mm-hmm.
because she did it for 15 years without any real big mistakes, you know? And it's like, I haven't done anything for 15 years without any mistakes.
Yeah.
So much empathy for the sacrifices they made.
Yeah.
When you hear the word ladylike, what does it mean to you?
My mom was just telling me, she was just reminding me the other day and laughing about how when I was growing up, I like didn't think rich people farted or like ladylike
Yes.
people
Yes.
farted
Yes.
or celebrities.
Yeah, they don't fart. You're right.
I love this podcast because I think it's helping me and Shirley, a lot of other people reframe their mindset of ladylike. Because I think like generally of like their traditional, like cross your legs, don't smack your gum, like no burping.
Yeah.
But I just love that you're on a mission to show that ladylike, like it's such like it's so complex
Yeah.
and it's so layered and it can look in like so many different things.
My argument is that ladylike is like Mia Thermopolis before and after she became the Princess of Genovia. If you know about the, have you seen that movie?
I
Princess
have.
Diaries, I think it is.
Wait, were we talking how I've only seen like 10 movies?
No, that's crazy.
The movies were not a part of my childhood, and I
Yeah,
think maybe it's my ADHD. I don't know.
I feel you. I feel you.
But I mean, I know before and after. It's both. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think it is both. Both are ladylike. And that is just a physical
Yeah,
representation
yeah,
of the,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
emotional and everything else that goes into it.
Yeah.
But I'm a guy, and that's why I'm on this journey to discover that. So we'll see how it continues to develop. What would your younger self be most surprised about the woman you are today?
I think she would be so happy,
Mm.
which is so sweet.
Yeah.
Um, I had a hard journey of motherhood, I think at the beginning, like becoming a parent through foster care. I really was disappointed in myself of the type of mom I was. I didn't resonate with it. I think I just didn't know how to be a foster mom. So much of foster care is out of your control.
Yeah.
And to protect myself, I became this like laid back, super chill, it is what it is type of mom out of like, that's all I could do. That's kind of the type of parent you can be as a foster parent because none of it's in your control.
Yeah.
I carried a lot of shame about that. It was always told to me, like, you're going to be an amazing mom. And I always loved kids too. So I always just thought it would be really natural. And I struggled really, really badly with like my identity and just feeling disappointed in like how I was as a mom. So I had to give myself grace. It's now been 7 months since we adopted our son, and it's been really sweet. I'm like leaning into this new angle of motherhood, of like a permanent mom to him. And my daughter now is also a year and a half. So,
Oh my gosh. I didn't know she was that old.
uh-huh.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
So in the past year, like I've really grown into the type of mom that I always thought I would be. And that's been like so relieving because I was just like so distraught about it. I wouldn't be surprised if that's a common theme for first time moms who enter motherhood through foster care because it's just so out of your control. And you're like comparing yourself to all these other moms who maybe entered motherhood in a really traditional way.
Yeah.
And I just felt like it's not fair. You just get to hug your kid and not worry about what's their future,
Yeah.
which it's all a lie. We have no control.
Yeah.
It's like a fake type of control of being a bio parent.
It is.
Um, but I felt like envious of that, and I felt like I couldn't relate to other moms. But that's like a long-winded answer. I think younger me would be just like couldn't wait to grow up if they got to see my life today.
Yeah.
it feels like right in line with who I always thought I would be.
That's awesome. And when, little girls, they like future letter to myself type thing, I feel like they go, did I marry him? And you did marry him, the one that you probably would have been writing
I
about,
know.
which is really, I think, a very sweet thing. And
I have like hilarious journal entries
about Will.
about Will.
Oh man, next episode, just reading entries from Will. I'm just kidding. But I also wanted to say, because you're one of the only people that I know that has a very similar journey to Anna and I, that we both fostered a boy. We both loved that boy a lot. And then, obviously we had a bio girl. You guys had a bio girl. I was really, yeah, I don't think it's a experienced motherhood only to feel that weird tension, because I remember with my foster son, I would have died for him, but as I thought that he might transition out of our home, I felt myself like, I don't care. I'm cool. And
Yeah.
it's just like, that's not reality. It's a coping mechanism, because you don't control anything when you're a foster parent.
Yeah.
From the car seat, like we were told what kind of car seat he had to be in, and everything in his life was kind of, we got to make small choices, but it is just really interesting that I didn't let myself love with complete reckless abandon. And I did for a long time, but towards the end, when it looked like he was going to be transitioned into another home, into a family member's home, I remember being like, feeling an immense amount of shame and guilt. Like, oh my gosh, I'm not being the best version of myself. So,
I think like on top of that, it's such a hard balance because if you are, which I know we like have the same training, so
yeah,
like being reunification
focused.
focused,
Yeah,
it's this tough balance of when a child comes into your home, you want and you hope that their family can heal in a way that they can go back.
yeah.
And that's like the goal.
Mhm.
And so, how do you balance that with this is your son, treat him like he's your son, when every week he gets to see, his bio family. And then I'm reminded as soon as we're there, he's not mine,
Yeah,
you know? So I think I really struggled with that.
100%.
I think every foster parent should give themselves grace because it's like an impossible thing.
Yeah, it's insane. It's a really unique experience.
I felt a lot of guilt like watching um our friend's daughter be reunified,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
their foster daughter, and watching
That was
your
brutal.
foster son be reunified,
Yeah,
because I was like in the middle of adopting our son, and that honestly was my biggest fear. Not my biggest fear, but one thing I was really worried about was our son leaving and me suddenly losing this identity that I had for the past 2 years.
yeah,
And then like, and I was just so, you can take all of this off, but I was just like so proud of Kate and Yaki
yeah.
and you guys, just watching y'all navigate
Yeah.
like not being parents anymore.
Oh,
And like,
yeah. It was brutal. Oh man,
yeah,
gonna make me cry. But
yeah.
yeah, I think um, it was insane. I don't know if you ever felt like you were, when you were a foster parent at the beginning, like, oh my gosh, I can't wait for this kid to leave so I can go to the movies or
Mm.
whatever. But I just remember thinking like, man, I'm so excited that our son is gonna be put with awesome family members. It's gonna
Yeah.
be great, and then we're gonna go back to being dinks, and that's gonna be great. Uh, I cannot describe the emptiness that felt when he got with his family and we had the first night in 10 months where we slept through the night for 3 nights in a row, and we went to the movies and we went on dates, and we were just like, this is not it.
Yeah.
We were like, luckily we were pregnant,
Yeah.
so we were deep into pregnancy, so we knew this was very temporary, but it was incredibly hard. And I think it gave me also a lot of empathy for empty nesters, which is crazy. But in the middle of it, you're like, oh, I just can't wait for these kids to grow up or whatever. But then I think at the end of it all, when your kids go and they go off in life, you're probably feeling like lost.
I know I didn't feel it because it didn't happen,
Yeah.
but I felt it for months, like at night crying,
Yeah.
like being so fearful
Yeah.
of that. And so knowing that y'all walked directly into that and you had no choice, like
Yeah.
I cried for you guys
Yeah.
because I just was like, oh, this is like the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
Like you can also keep this off, but I know like today he went with his dad,
Yeah, today.
which
Ugh,
I'm
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
it just makes it's just like, oh, I don't want to do foster care anymore.
I know. That was gonna be my next question is like, has that fear, has that feeling ever made you think that you didn't want to go back into it and do foster care anymore? Obviously, there's the reality. It's like you're raising two kids,
Yeah, yeah.
but at the same time, it's like, I mean, for me, it took. We're gonna be foster parents again in September, but uh, it took a long time for me to be like, I'm ready to expose myself to trauma.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
no, seriously.
literally.
I think, well, we go back and forth. Like, I don't feel completely done,
Mhm.
but like it's this. Will just keeps me like, you don't have to decide right now,
Yeah,
and that's true. But I don't feel completely done. Like, I don't feel like our family's full,
yeah,
but like I do feel in the trenches right now. And so when I think about like the capacity is just not there. Like when we started, I had no kids. We were dinks.
mm,
Like we were just
living
easy
life.
breezy living life.
Yeah.
And so I felt like I had a lot of capacity and I had a lot of support. And
Mm,
now that we have two kids, two toddlers, it's like they are so needy and so annoying and so like wonderful, obviously. Just like loud and crazy.
mm,
It's like how and also our house is tiny.
yeah,
So it's like where would they go? But yeah, I do think I would want to do it again, but I don't know. I think I'm much less naive to how hard it is
yeah.
now.
It.
So it's like it feels like a bigger yes than the first time.
I got more questions, and
Okay.
we're almost done.
Okay.
So, if Davy and Drew were listening 15 years from now, what do you hope they hear in our conversation? Mostly
Oh.
Drew, or mostly Davy. Sorry, mostly my daughter. Mostly Davy is what I mean.
Drew. So,
Yeah, yeah,
hi girls. Y'all are little teenagers.
yeah.
Um, I who knows what the world will be like then. But I just feel like I was blessed with people in my life who just supported me and encouraged me and let me just do what I wanted to do. I hope as parents that we can like feed them courage and resilience and boldness and bravery to do the things that they want to do.
If you could hand the girls, Davy and Drew, one message from this season of your life, what would it be about who you are today?
I don't know
Yeah,
if I could one message. Wish I had some like concise little one-liner.
I know.
I don't.
The unfortunate thing is I have one loaded up.
Oh, great.
I'm so sorry, but I've been thinking about this one. So
Okay, well, let me think of something. I don't know, say yours.
this has been a really good episode. We both cried. I was just looking at the camera like that's a great angle. Shout out to myself. My message is this: other people will fail you in life, but just don't fail yourself. Like show up for yourself and work your hardest. I was in a sales meeting with my boss. Shout out Celeste, CEO of my company. She's the best, and she's really great at sales. And I was in a meeting with her probably 2 year or a year and a half ago now. And in that meeting, I was like, I'm not making as much money as I want to. And kind of coming in like a blaming sort of sense, I was like, you're responsible for growing this company. You're the CEO. And she looked me dead in the eyes and she goes, it's like the reason for my success is that I don't fail myself. Some clients might fall off. She was like, I'm going to do everything in my power to not fail myself. And I was like, dang. And so I've been thinking about that. So don't fail yourselves, girls. Like, do everything in the power to achieve the dreams that you want, and other things are going to get in the way, but you got to keep pushing through it for your own sake. Nobody else is going to give it to you. You got to take it.
I think to add on to that, you might fail yourself once,
Yeah,
or you might make a mistake and it feels like you fail yourself, but you get the next choice to like take care of yourself again.
totally.
That's been something huge I've been learning is like how to take care of myself after having Davy and like postpartum depression and just feeling overwhelmed with life is like feel like I've been gathering up the pieces. Um and yeah, I did feel like I failed myself,
Mm.
but you can always get back up again.
100%. Yeah, that is so true. It's like if we're talking about not feeling ourselves and the expectation is perfection with ourselves,
Yeah.
that is false. I feel myself probably at least 8 times a day. Just kidding, probably like 8 times a week. But every time that I do, the next choice, you have the opportunity to keep coming back and you have the opportunity to keep going. So I want to echo that. So tell that camera and that camera where people can find you with Lovelily Flowers and what you do and anything else you want to shout out. And tell them to be foster parents. You got it. This is your moment.
Don't do it. I'm just kidding.
Don't be foster parents.
Um, you can find me at Instagram at lovelily.flowers. And yeah, you can look at my website, lovelyflowers.com.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for spending this time with me. This episode I'm really excited to put out there. And we have episodes coming out every Wednesday. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok at ladylike_pod. And then on YouTube at Ladylike the Dad Podcast is where you will find us. Thank you guys for being here.
Thanks for having me.